Hi guys. Yes, I decided to do a video of me reading a passage from the book just because I know that that's something usually you do at like a book signing, but with COVID and everything, it's been very difficult for me to find anywhere. The majority of the places that I've contacted just don't have the time or the means to do it, so I'm gonna do one here. I'm doing a reading of 149 and a few pages. Chapter 11. Without a word, he escorted me down the hall by my upper arm, his grip tight. The sound of the game echoed the further we moved away, down the tan hallway. The smell of stale cleaning products overpowered the security guard's Nephilim scent. My mouth grew dry with anticipation. I focused on the tiles beneath my feet, speckled with blue and red flakes, as I tried to prepare myself for what was next. All I could think of was Mika. Had he taught me how to fight, this would be a lot easier. The security guard opened the door and pushed me into what looked like a library, though the lights weren't on. Bookshelves lined the walls near the entrance, disappearing into darkness. I turned to face the guard just as he slammed the door shut, blinding me in darkness. His hand came across my face hard enough to knock me to the floor. I peered up to see his figure as he pulled a knife from his belt and came at me. I blocked his forearm inches from my breast. And then there is a Latin incantation for demons that I'm not going to embarrass myself to say. I can do it, it just takes me a very long time. He spat the words in my face as he pushed harder against my arm. His pupils disappeared into milky white as his sapphire markings were set aglow around his neck and hands. The pureness of it contrasted against the deep ruby light of my own markings as it snuck out from under my wrist cuffs of my jacket and neck. The transition made me stronger as I pushed back. He grunted and pressed his other hand atop the pommel of his knife, struggling to pierce my skin. I am not a demon. I'm part angel too, I desperately tried to explain. But he wouldn't let up. He was too strong, and I wouldn't be able to hold him like this for long. I know a Nephilim named Mika, I blurted. And for a moment, the man relented, and that was my chance. I drove his arm up as I lifted myself to headbutt him. He fell to my left, and I awkwardly scrambled from under him and took off through one of the aisles of books towards the back. My head spun as I tried to remain upright. Please, let me leave. I swear I'm not dangerous. Every second that passed, I was less likely to get out of this alive. That man was a skilled killer, and I was a scared mouse in the dark. You are nothing but demon scum, he shouted from across the library, acid lacing his words. I moved as quietly as possible against the back wall. How am I supposed to fight him? My jacket concealed my glowing markings enough to keep my location less noticeable, but I had a feeling he already knew where I was. Once I got to the furthest corner from him, I crouched down and covered my mouth to quiet my breathing. There were two options, fight or flight. Should I run? I adjusted to the darkness as I took in where I'd come from. There was a few tables and chairs in the main foyer, and to the right were some cash registers. 9-foot-tall shelves surrounded us. I flexed my fingers, trying to stop my hands as they trembled. I strained my sight to see out toward the way I'd come in, and couldn't make out where the door was. There was too many tables and cardboard advertisements for books in the way. What if I run and he catches me? I have to fight. Mika would tell me to fight. I could yell the angel incantation and show him I glow blue, too. Or I could get that knife from him and kill him first. A quiet whistling came from above me. I fell to the side just in time to miss the knife sailing at me. My blood ran cold as I gawked at it in the dark. The blade stabbed into a book above my head, which would have been my brain if I wouldn't have moved in time. Damn it, he yelled from a distance. I seized the knifed book and began crawling around the corner of the bookshelf. I struggled to get up as I pulled the knife from the book, and suddenly he had my hands in his. He swung me around and slammed me against the shelf, sending books flying off the other side. As we wrestled, I lifted the knife and went for it. He anticipated the attack and caught my wrist as I tried to land a blow. I dropped the knife and aimed my fist at his throat. The hit hurt my hand, but made him gag, forcing him to let go. I squirmed from his embrace and made another run for it. Please let me show you Please let me show you my Nephilim markings, I begged. If I could just speak the Nephilim incantation, he would stop. Panic and fear drowned me in sweat as I ran blindly, running into tables and chairs. I'm not strong enough to take him directly, and if I don't get him to believe me soon, I'm dead. I latched onto the side of the shelf and started to climb. The top of the bookcase was about 9 feet off the ground. I needed the angel incantation, but I couldn't seem to think of it. I don't want to die. The wetness of tears revealed the horror I felt clawing at my insides. The need to vomit was imminent. I don't want to die, I whimpered and begged whoever was listening for it to come to me. And then it did. And then here's the angel incantation. I'm not gonna embarrass myself reading that either. A shock wave moved through my body like a bullet shot from a gun. The vibration shook me viciously, and everything shifted in slow motion. My movements, the man across coming toward me, even the ticking of a distant clock became near stagnant. My mind felt as if on a higher plane of consciousness the universe became clear and precise. I felt completely connected to everything around me and within. I felt every muscle contraction, every fiber in my joints, and every individual cell quiver, down to the atomic level of my being. It was like slipping deeper into my mind and further into the universe. The most interesting of all, though, the room now glowed purple around me. So, if you guys are interested in my book, definitely check it out. The Rising by Lunar Sights. It is the Trigenis series. So there'll definitely be more books. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm sorry if I butchered everything. Sorry I didn't read the Latin. I wasn't prepared. I didn't think about it. I usually have to practice a few lines before I actually read it. Sorry. But yeah, I hope you liked it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!